G'day, guys. Welcome again to Beat the Reset. Tim here, Guy in the hat, of course, and I have my two Army generals. I've got, of course, the Baron of Bitcoin on this side and the Slasher and Samurai of Silver, Sam from Liberty Bullion. Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, fantastic as always, Tim. Every day with you is a good day.
And likewise, dear sir. Absolutely. And you?
Feeling bullish and also here to celebrate your beautiful birthday. So, yeah, just looking like you're turning 45, my dear friend. So can't wait to celebrate.
I remember the First World War and we weren't going well.
We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them in the trenches.
We've got a similar battle coming up,
Yeah,
Bish.
yes,
It prepared me well.
Yes.
Well, here's to a wonderful battle against the disastrous banks and to sending them home to poverty.
There we are.
Here.
Here. Well, I mean, that's all we've got time for.
Yes,
No.
sir.
Anyway, let's talk about some issues that we've experienced. And of course, before we jumped on the camera, we were talking about the fact that we have generated enormous wealth, and we feel this is a time of year to be celebrating that.
Correct.
What would you gentlemen like?
Absolutely. Look, I've got to completely agree on that one. This is the part of the year at which everybody looks back on the year, takes stock of what they've done, how they've performed for the year, the goals that they've achieved or not achieved. What a time to look back on the year as a member of the BTR family. Look at how your investments have performed. Take stock of where you're at financially and where you're going. And just celebrate. I mean, it's a bloody good time to be alive. Assets are moving the right way. It's been an absolutely stellar year for gold, silver, and Bitcoin, as well as other cryptos as well, the ISOs that Tim has mentioned. So just enjoy it, guys. And I mean, Bisher will follow on from me here. Christmas can be a very financially stressful time for people.
Yep.
You know, presents, holidays, dinners, drinks. How do you keep up with all the spending? Well, if you're sat in the right asset class and you've denominated your wealth outside of dollars, you're not worried.
That's right. And I mean, it's just, we've given and we're giving the gift of wealth, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean? It's not a transactional relationship that we have here. We've been reflecting on, the relationships that we've forged, with all of you. And I'm so proud of the team that we built over the last 6 months. And I'm so proud of the faith that the BTR community has given us. And we've been able, in turn, been able to provide the gift of wealth. And I hope it keeps on coming in our way, because the more you give, the more you receive. And I want to look after you guys for many years to come. So if you thought 2024 was good, 2025 is going to be better.
2025, Bish. Cheers to 2025.
Question for you, dear sir.
Yes, sir.
So flipping the script a little bit.
Yeah, there's a script flipper.
Yeah. What are you most excited for in 2025? What are you looking forward to? What do you want to accomplish? It's more of a you moment.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to? Building new relationships and more relationships like the ones we built with our clients. Because I look around, this is no ordinary investment business. This is where you invest in the client for real. Like I don't know if you guys notice this, but the relationships, this sounds a bit weird, but the relationships we have with our clients are exceptional.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting all those people that I haven't met yet, and all those people that are needing help that they don't know it yet, and they're going to stumble across us guys, you and him and him and him, and they are going to achieve great success. And I want to ask you guys a question: is there anything better than looking into the eyes of a client and knowing that you have changed their world?
Nothing. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a pilot. I'll never be able to fly your plane or drive your bus, but I can help make you very wealthy. And to me, that's the realest way that you can help someone, because look, they can use that wealth to then go buy a pilot, buy a bus driver, buy a doctor, buy whatever they want. But you've helped them create that wealth. Without that wealth, the world's a very dark and not so nice place. But when you have wealth, there's a saying I really love, which is the castle gates will always open for gold-laden donkeys. And that is what being wealthy gives you. You have the gold-laden donkey, the castle gates will always open. No matter what castle you're talking about, the gates will always open. So absolutely, I couldn't think of a better way to help people. Help them generate wealth, and then they can go do whatever they so please with it.
That's absolutely. And Bish, what do you say about that?
Absolutely. Like, I can't give digital laden donkeys, but we have fun along the way. Like, we've seen Bitcoin put up 140% return year to date. That isn't talking about, any of the ISOs like XRP and XLM, which have done 300 and 400% respectively, which is some pretty astonishing numbers. And these are the kind of results that we deliver in a great year. And we have to keep in mind that 2025 is shaping up to be an excellent year, because we've got to understand that Bitcoin moves in 4-year cycles. So 2020 was the genesis of the previous Bitcoin bull run. In 2021, we had seen the absolute euphoria and mania that can come with Bitcoin and crypto bull runs. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what 2025 has in store. I think we're expecting another triple-digit return year in BTC, which would take us to around or north of 200K. The rest of the altcoins will certainly follow in a massive way as well. Can there be corrections? Will there be liquidations? Will there be times where we have to just jump into the trenches and put in 22-hour days? Absolutely. But that's my job. That's Tim's job. That's Sam's job. It's not for you guys to worry about. We're doing the heavy lifting in the financial markets, so you guys don't have to worry about it.
Sammy, gold and silver, they're going to have a big year next year. What realistically can people expect here? I mean, I know it's hard to sign your name under. We're not going to skewer you on this one, Sammy. but in your own heart of hearts, where are these assets going to move in percentage terms next year?
So for me, I think 3,000 US for gold is a matter of time. I think we'll see it in the first 3 months of next year. Could be 6, but I'd say within the first 3. And when we see 3K US for gold, we're going to see $40 US for silver. Now, 3K US for gold is only about a 10% move from where we are now. Only 10%. Keep in mind that's 2 years of bank interest rates and you can get in 3 to 6 months on the world's safest asset. But silver going from about $30 an ounce US to 40, that's a 33% gain. So you can make 33% within 3 to 6 months on one of the safest assets on the planet. And that's just the first 3 to 6 months of the year. What happens after that? I think we see a bit of a pullback from there, but then I think we go again. And when we go again, the next stop for silver is 50 US. Whether we see it in 2025 or 2026, early 2026, who's to say? But once we break 50, sky's the limit. So it's going to be a great year for silver next year in particular, at least a 30% gain for the year, at least. Could be a lot higher. Gold will do well. Gold will go up. What are they going to do? Stop printing money? But silver is the place to be.
Yeah, and you mentioned the $50 silver. Of course, I'm getting the Barbie boat on the Arrow all organised for that, guys, as you know, at $50 US. Bitcoin, 107,000. It's broken all records.
Yes.
It blindsided you. I mean, you're the Baron of Bitcoin.
Yes.
And you didn't even call it. You didn't see Bitcoin at 100,000 before Christmas. It went past 100,000.
I called 88 by Christmas. I was genuinely,
You're conservative.
I was wrapped.
You should be more bullish.
I should have been more bullish. I did not take my own advice, Tim, and I feel I'm giving myself a slap on the wrist. I honestly thought if we were trading at $88,000 right now, I would have had a cracking year. I would have been absolutely beside myself that we would have been at 88K by Christmas. The fact that we're trading at 107 and have consolidated over the 100K handle has just been more than I could ask for and then some. And,
But you're now saying we could go even higher than 107 before the end of the year. So now the whole narrative is changing because
momentum is so strong.
Right, the
momentum is so strong. I am a there's something that one of our old trading mentors on the foreign exchange trading desk that taught Sammy and I, which is you got to know the type of trader that you are. Some people are reversal traders who expect turns in markets and they time them very well. Some traders are mean reversion traders, which are just trading in consolidation patterns. I'm a momentum trader, right? I'm certainly not the one that identifies the trend super early, but when I tell you that there's momentum and there's a strong amount of gathering pace, I'm going to be like, that's the trade that I want to be in, because I want to be on the fastest horse in the shortest race, right? That's what I want. And the momentum in this market right now is so strong. You don't want to fade it. It's like people are like, oh, it's going to go pull back, or it's going to go to, all kinds of crazy bearish predictions. I'm like, now is not the time to be bearish. If the time to be bearish is gone, right? Maybe revisit this conversation in 2026, but now is the time to be bullish, because if anything that 2021 was to go off, 2025 is going to be a stupendous year for digital assets.
All right. So just before I go back to Sammy on this one, how far can Bitcoin run in 2025? You said something about the first 100 days of Trump's presidency. He is inaugurated on the 20th of January, 2025.
Mhm.
The first 100 days brings us up to the end of April.
Yep.
Where's Bitcoin?
I'm calling and I'm expecting to see 200,000 US at some stage in 2025. Whether it occurs exactly within the first 100 days is to be said. But let's keep in mind that the US government and one of Trump's first acts is most likely going to be the Bitcoin Act, where they're going to go out and buy 200,000 Bitcoins a year. Right? There's only 140,000 Bitcoin that can get produced by the entire Bitcoin network in a singular year. So the US government's going to come out and say, as a single buyer, we're going to buy more than the entire network can produce, right? So I'm not going to fade that. I'm going to go, it's a one-way trade. Yes, there's going to be some volatility along the way, but I'm not going to get in front of that. So I think the first 100 days, 150K is completely plausible. The reason why I tempered my expectations is from start of December to end of January 2020 to 2021, we went from 18,000 to 40,000. Right, that was December 20. We opened up in around 18,000. We hit a peak in January of 2021 of around 40,000 US. We pulled back down to 33 to close off the month. That was a 100% increase in 6 weeks. Now I'm saying, look, we're a much bigger market now. Does that mean that we can't run anymore? Absolutely not. I'm saying temper your expectations, expect a 50% increase from where we are today. And that takes us about 150,000.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Sammy, gold and silver, are they where you expected them to be right now? Or what's your view?
About where I expected. So I remember at the very beginning of the year with yourself, I called 2,700 US for gold by the end of the year. And I was calling for $40 silver. And we hit 35, we pulled back. So for silver, I expected it to be a bit higher than where it is now. We still got a few weeks left in the year, anything can happen. But for gold, it's right on target. So for me, I look at silver as about to play catch up to gold. If you're seeing gold hit my target and silver hasn't hit it yet, that should tell you pile in the silver now, because that catch up move is going to be epic.
What world events do we need to watch out for that affect gold and silver's price?
I mean, conflict in the Middle East, if China was to try and take Taiwan, if Russia was to, launch a few missiles into the Ukraine, if Iran were to launch a few nuclear missiles towards Israel.
Well, but hang on. So why do those things drive the price of gold up?
It's about the fear trade. So people call gold the fear metal. When people are feeling fearful, they rush towards gold. And when things go bad around the world, they rush towards gold and the gold price spikes. Now, in terms of long-term price drivers, I don't talk geopolitics. I talk about real interest rates. Interest rates minus inflation. If that number's negative, if interest rates are say 4% and inflation's at 10, well, that's a real interest rate of minus 6% per year, which means that for every year that you leave your money in the bank, you lose 6%. That is the biggest long-term driver of gold and silver prices, real interest rates. But short-term driver, geopolitics. If we see war in the Middle East kick off, bang, you can expect the gold price to go up $100 that night. So the long-term driver is real interest rates, but in the short term, geopolitics can move the market substantially.
Wow. Okay. Bish, what world events drive Bitcoin's value up?
So I would say the biggest thing that drives Bitcoin's price is USD money supply, as well as global liquidity. Bitcoin is incredibly sensitive to the global liquidity index, which is how much frothiness is in the system. If there's a lot of money sloshing around, give me a slap on the wrist. I called it money. Sorry, naughty.
It was frothy. You had me at frothiness.
Yes, sorry, you're just like your martini. When there's a lot of liquidity in the system, a lot of currency sloshing around, the euro dollar market, which is not the euro USD cross rate, the euro dollar market is all international trade between two counterparties that it doesn't involve the US. Whenever there's a lot of liquidity in the system, that's when Bitcoin is really running up. When global liquidity gets tightened, whether that be through the actions of the Federal Reserve or by central banking overlords, Bitcoin price retracts because it does require liquidity. It's very sensitive to money supply. So that's why I say it is a great inflation hedge in a different way compared to gold. Gold is your classical inflation hedge, whereas Bitcoin, it's an inflation hedge in a different way where if they are absolutely going hard on the money printer, nothing grows quicker than Bitcoin. So that's why it's a great inflation hedge. But then once they slow down the money printing, even though the money printing is still going on, gold will still benefit from this. If they slow down the money printer, then Bitcoin prices retreat. But the retreat could be from 200,000 down to 140, for example. Public information.
Do you know what I realized today, Sandy? I was talking to a client and I realized that, and going back 400 years to the Spanish Empire, silver traded at 4-1. 4-1. Have a look at the COMEX. 400 times.
Yep.
Silver is suppressed to 100 times gold. That's 4-1.
Yep.
They're still doing it.
They're still
They haven't changed the suppression of silver. And my question to you is, why is there this obsession to suppress the price of silver?
Why is silver the most manipulated asset on the planet?
Yes.
Why do the
Why is
bullion
it
banks
most
spend
undervalued?
billions of dollars
Why?
shorting it? Why are they losing money hand over fist as the price goes up? Why? And the answer is, and this goes really deep, this answer, our entire system is built on cheap money. The idea that you can go get a big loan for a house you can't afford and a car you can't afford, and you can take out a big loan to go on a holiday you can't afford. The entire Western financial system is built on cheap credit. So how do you have cheap credit? Well, you manipulate the price of money. What is the price of money? That's the price of gold and silver. So you keep the price of gold and silver low. You make sure that people feel really great. And, oh, the world's a great place. Gold's cheap. Everything's cheap. Credit's cheap. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go get a big loan. That is the reason that they keep this stuff suppressed. Now, when the suppression breaks, you're going to see gold and silver shoot up. You're going to see global interest rates start to try and adjust. Because here's the thing. You look at the 1970s, gold went 30x, silver went almost 50x. How do they end that bull run? They ended that bull run by jacking rates to overinflation, 25% interest rates. The global economy can't take that. It can't take it these days. The debt's too high. So what they're trying to do is suppress the price so that people don't rush into it. Because if people rush into it and then the price goes 30x, they're going to have to jack rates to overinflation. And if they do that, the whole system's going to collapse. So they can't do it. And what do? They manipulate price so people don't rush into it. But we're seeing the manipulation break. We're seeing price run. We're seeing people rush into it. The writing is on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. It is up to you whether you decide to read it.
It's interesting, Sammy, because when they ended the gold standard in 1933, guess what? The United States moved on to which standard after the gold standard? Have a guess. Begins with S.
Silver standard.
Up until 1968. And no one talks about the silver standard. It was one of the most successful standards. In fact, they shot a US president, John F. Kennedy.
Oh, the crime of 1873. You talk about all the
don't
time.
even get me started on the 1873, Sammy. And they go after silver every time. And here we're looking at the COMEX. It's a 400-to-1 suppression of silver.
Well, here's the thing, Tim, is if gold is the money of kings and silver is the money of the people, and the aristocrats in charge think of themselves as kings and stack a lot of gold, well, of course they're going to try and manipulate the money of the people more than the money of kings. The money of kings is manipulated down, gold's manipulated down, but silver's manipulated down even more. Why? Because it's the money of the people, and they hate the people. I don't know if you guys have realized this yet, but they hate you.
And do you know what I love? Can I quote myself?
Yes.
Is that okay?
No,
That's okay.
please.
Gold
If you don't mind me, you've got a great saying. Do you mind sharing?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Gold is king, silver is queen, and Bitcoin is the assassin. I just love that. What did you think of that comment?
I love that because it just speaks to everything that I love about gold and silver. They're everything that you need to have that safety, that stability, that bedrock. Sam talks about his experience in the Middle East. I'm an Arab myself. Gold and silver runs in my blood, right? So I love it deeply. In fact, I was a gold bug and a silver ape. I still am to an extent before I was a Bitcoiner. And it's just that final bit of that little poison dart into the back of the neck, that's going to take out the central banks, because it's one thing to play the gold and silver game, which is the long game, but sometimes you just need that Viking berserker right at the front with the axe ready to go in and just go hard, because you can play politics, you can play nice, but sometimes that doesn't move.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't move the needle. So you need that, call it that virus, that attack on the matrix, that real spanner in the works that I believe Bitcoin is, that's going to, really unhinge the system. And I believe for the silver market suppression to finally break, a Bitcoin standard would be the perfect thing to be a catalyst.
I truly
Silver
believe,
suppression.
I truly believe you are spot on. And I think we are looking at the first digital one reserve asset. And I think this is why Bitcoin has been designed. And I think all of these rises and falls were to essentially free up, as educate people to the value of this asset, plus to shake the tree to get them out of it so that the big boys can keep control of it. But we could see another great big shaking of the tree. I want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If the central bankers, if the Treasury of the US decides that it wants to buy, I don't know, 2 million Bitcoin, and 2 million Bitcoin aren't available right about now, they could easily go to one of the biggest wallets and, I guess, I don't know, shake the wallet, shake the tree somehow, drop the price of Bitcoin, knock a whole lot of people out of it, swoop in, pick up some Bitcoin.
Yep.
Getting ready to float this thing as a tier one reserve asset, because I mean the Bitcoin's got to be available to purchase for starters.
Right.
So I guess what I want to ask you is, if people see a massive decline and drop in the sudden and rapid price drop in the price of Bitcoin, do they sell out of it?
Yeah, and it's very natural. It's very reflexive to do that. But I will be competing with the US Treasury buying those Bitcoins.
So you'll be back in
The
buying
The
it.
Baron will be buying.
As soon as it goes down, the Baron's going to buy.
I am going to be buying.
But you're going to be buying up the stuff other people are selling.
Correct. This is the thing, is that when people say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to zero, I will buy every single Bitcoin you have from you at 70,000. I will buy every single, you can sell 70,000 at 80,000 at 90,000. There are people who will say, I'll buy all the Bitcoin you have at 95. I'll buy all the Bitcoin you have at 90, at 85, at 80, 75, at 60. The reason why you can't put the genie back in the bottle is that this is how market price discovery works, right? The network that, again, I've always said this, there's Bitcoin, the network, and Bitcoin, the asset. The Bitcoin, the asset, the price, that's what captures the imagination, captures the headline. As long as the network remains decentralized, as long as the network remains free from regulatory capture, I will continuously be the most raging bull on this market. The moment I'll put my hand up and say, if there's any sort of regulatory capture, if it's no longer decentralized and it becomes a centralized scheme, I'll be the first one to say, sell all your Bitcoin. I'll be the first one to say it, right? I promise you that, because I'm a man of my integrity. But the Bitcoin network remains decentralized, remains permissionless. The Bitcoin asset price will do whatever it likes. That's how open markets should work. That's how a true money market should work. It should be set by the buyers and the sellers, not by 13 people in a boardroom every month. We're going to head into a new Federal Reserve meeting next Wednesday, right? They decide what the price of money is going to be. That's absolutely bullshit. The beauty about Bitcoin is that it's a 24/7 clearinghouse for the price of money. 24/7 open, instant liquidity, available on demand all the time, right? That is truly money changing. And from a perspective of, we're changing the definition of money.
You know that wealth you just amassed is minus half an ounce of silver for that little swear word you just.
Oh yes. Listen. All I'm going to say is that you can go long on me being a degenerate, and you can build your silver stack on that.
I'll tell you what, we'd be wealthy if we.
How do I get that trade on?
Semi, gold price, does it ever crash? People ask me. People say to me, I have people on the channel that ask me, when will gold crash? Is this a thing?
Oh, mate, look, everyone wants a bargain.
Gold crash even look.
They all want to buy it when it's way cheaper than it is now, because the price now is too high. Look, here's the thing. Gold has pullbacks. I'm not going to say it moves.
But that's not a crash.
But it's not a crash.
Right.
And look, gold can drop 20% peak to trough. 20%. You get a 20% pullback. Awesome. Buy the dip. But to those people who are waiting for gold to drop 50%, 60%, 70% to buy in, good luck, guys. You're going to need it.
I had somebody who was a real skeptic today give me a call out of the blue on my old telephone, and he goes, Misha, I won't say his name. Yes, hello, may I please know who I'm speaking with? Yeah, it's let's call him Steve. Yeah, it's Steve here. Said, yeah, he goes, I'm never buying Bitcoin from you. I'm like, that's
He rang you to tell you that.
I swear.
Hey, he spent 30 cents on a phone call.
I swear to God, no, it's unlimited now.
Oh, it's unlimited.
And I said to him,
But it's his time.
I said, strange conversation, but I mean, sure, I'm not, you called me. So how can I help you? Right. And he goes to me, I just don't believe in Bitcoin. So I said, are you calling me to convince you of buying Bitcoin? Is that what you would like me to do? And then he goes, yeah, I guess I am. I said, look, if you can buy Bitcoin at $50,000, would you? He goes, yeah, absolutely. So you're just not happy with the market price today? He goes, yeah, I feel like I missed out. I said, would you be upset if we went to 150,000? He goes, absolutely. So I said, you're a buyer at 100K. He goes, yeah, fair point. You bought his Bitcoin with us today. So you know what I mean? It's like, why are people wanting to time like running markets? Like, why would you want to time gold, silver, and Bitcoin? These are strong markets. Yeah, could you, time the market? Always have some spare cash around to buy pullbacks, and maybe you work a 9 to 5 and you've got cash flow, so that way you can buy dips. But every month, I get a little bit of dividend income from the business, and I don't care what the price is at the start of the month. I am buying as much Bitcoin as I possibly can.
Yep.
I visit Sammy. I say, "Oh, Sammy, what have you got? Any good discounts for me?" So I've got kilo kookaburras going for the price of 1 kilo silver bar. I said, "Give me 2 of those bad boys, please."
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's how it works.
And here's the thing, Bisha and I have worked on trading floors for years and years. To anybody who thinks that they can time these markets, please, please, please open up a CFD trading account, drop a couple $100 in, lose it all trying to day trade, and learn the lesson that you're not a day trader. Because that is an invaluable lesson. That is worth way more than the few $100 that you lose learning that lesson. And once you've learned that lesson, then just buy good assets at whatever price they're at. Don't worry about it. And something you said there, Bisha, about this guy calling me up trying to get convinced. I had a client and he started buying gold off me when my business first opened a year and a half ago. He came in, bought gold. I hadn't seen him for a while. He shows up a month ago. He goes, "Hey, Sam, that gold that you sold me went up." I said, "Yeah, of course it did. I said it would." He goes, "Why didn't you try to sell me harder on it?" I went, "What do you mean, babe?" He goes, "Well, you didn't really try that hard to sell me more." I said, "What? You had a certain amount of fiat to get rid of. I helped you put into a good asset. That asset went up. Where's this coming from?" And he goes, "I could have made more money." I'm going, "Oh, okay, all right, guys. You can't keep everyone happy, right?" So
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Do you know what? I was thinking about Sammy this morning, right?
As you do. In the
Line
shower- in the
line
shower.
naked on my
Yeah,
bed.
shower.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this guy, right? Because you're a trader, you can handle emotional.
Yeah.
The first message I got from Sammy this morning was the bank was closed. Sammy's account had been shut down.
Yeah.
Sammy's like, and for all those people out there, you got to understand this guy. Sammy can have his entire world fall apart, and you ring him up, and he's like, "G'day, Timmy." It's like he's a typical trader, right?
Yeah.
He just lost everything in the trade.
Yeah.
That's all right. Did I spit on you there, Steve?
No.
And how about now?
It's fine.
you can spit on me if you want to.
You promise? So anyway, but do you reckon that comes from being a trader?
100%.
Because you guys have balls as big as King Kong.
100%.
And here you have been wiped out by your commercial bank. Most people would be devastated. You're like, "G'day, mate, how you going?" It's like, I don't know. Nothing phases you.
Look, here's the thing. You can get emotional about it. You can get all in your emotions, get really pissed off, and just or you can just relax. Like it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
Controllables, guys. Like, there's you got your circle of concern and your circle of influence, and anything that's outside of your circle of influence should be outside of your circle of concern immediately.
Agreed.
If you can't control it, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Right? I have issues with banks. I have issues in trades. I have issues in investments. I have issues with my wife from time to time, but that can get sorted out pretty quickly.
I've got issues with chocolate bars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't get me
Timmy.
started. But the main thing.
Don't want to mention the chocolate bars, guys.
No, God forbid. But don't
go there.
Don't go for the mud bars. But the point I'm trying to make is that everything's going to be okay, as Sammy said, right? Well, you're in good assets. You've got us in your corner. The beauty of what we do and what we provide is we want to get you home safely and securely. That's what Sammy provides you. And I want to get you home quickly and efficiently. That's what I do. And Tim, he just wants to get you home.
Yeah.
So just,
In a nice
he wants
way,
to
in a
take- he
nice
wants to
way.
take you home.
In a nice way, guys. Girls included.
Yes. But we want to make sure that at the end of the day, whatever trade, whatever investment that you make, we're going to be right there. And what I love about you, Tim, seriously, every Tuesday and every Thursday and Sunday. I don't even know what day. It's all the same. When you work,
Whatever day.
when you work through 65 days, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. It's all the same.
It's all the same. But every Thursday and Sunday, you bring me and Sammy up in front of the BTR community and say what's been happening in the market. And I love that because that level of accountability is what gets me up and gets me going in the morning. And you get up and you do your Monday rants and you give it to them straight. You're looking down the barrel and you just tell them exactly how it is. And we will never, ever shy away from the fight, right? And we're always there and we want to get you home.
Yeah, because this is the hill we die on, guys.
Yep.
I mean, this
Yep.
is it. I mean, your children, your spouse, your family rely on this now. And I want to say, and we'll start to wind this up because we've been going for a while. We've had a lot of fun here.
We
today,
have,
by the
we
way.
have. It's a bit of a longer format.
We're starving to death. Like we want to go to this beautiful restaurant we have here, guys. What I was going to say is this is the fight of our lives. I mean, for me, it's about my children and my grandchildren. For you, it's about your children and your wife, and for you, it's
Future children.
it's the future children that you haven't had yet.
Yep.
And I think about COVID, and the reason most people caved in COVID is because they felt like they didn't have a choice. And having wealth gives you a choice.
It does.
What do you think about that?
It makes you free. What is freedom in a capitalistic society? It's having the money to do what you want. It's having the money to say, hey, boss, you wanted me to get that experimental little thing in my arm. You can go stick it. Oh, but how are you going to pay your bills? I'll be fine, mate. I got assets. It's all good. See you later. Bye. That is power. That is power beyond belief. So for everybody who went along with it because they had to pay bills, they had to pay a mortgage, they had to, put their kids through school. I understand, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to live like that.
100%.
You don't have to live like that.
And we don't know what's coming, Sammy.
No.
And therefore, because we don't know what these creatures have lined up for us, we have to have
Yep.
total control over what we're doing. Bishop, Bish is off looking
Checking
at
the
it.
markets.
He's checking the markets in the middle of the
Hey,
truck.
ladies, look at this.
He's on Bish.
I'll
ready
drink to
to
that,
go?
Sammy.
Cheers.
Let's go top shelf,
Yeah,
Sammy.
Top shelf tonight.
Hey,
Very nice.
all I'm saying is you're not bullish enough. Let me monitor the price for you. Let me be the trader that you want in your corner. Let Sammy be the general that you need in your corner. Let Tammy. I combined Sammy
Can you
and
put him
Timmy.
in
Shit.
Can you put him in a makeup?
Damn,
and
this amaretto sour is strong. No, all I'm saying is
At least
Sammy is
you
your
buy me a
general.
drink first?
Yeah. I have several. Sammy's your general. Timmy's your researcher. I'm your Baron, and we're gonna get you home, guys. We've gone a bit long in the tooth.
We have. I don't want to.
I love you boys. I love everything about you. Let's delete some oysters. Let's delete some steaks. Let's delete some red wine, and let's have a cracking evening.
Let's delete the word Tammy from the.
It's just a combination. It's a combination.
Lucky it wasn't Timmy and Bishop, it would be Tisha. Anyway, or Sammy and Bishop would have been Bammy.
Yeah.
We don't even go. All right, guys, it's time to go before we lose it. That's it for me. Guy in the hat, the samurai of silver, of course, the man that is the commodities king. What this guy doesn't know about Bitcoin, you could write on the back of a postage stamp, the Baron of Bitcoin. Thank you so much, Bishop, for your update. That's it for me. Guy in the hat, signing off. And until next time, as always, look after your health, look after your wealth. And as always, guys, make good choices. Good night,
Yeah, that was
everybody.
finally good.
There we go.
Did it, guys.